Ben Rich went to trial for rape and kidnap after he and two friends allegedly made a young girl drive them back to his apartment and two of the men had group sex with her. She accused them of kidnap and rape, but the charges were thrown out because in the confusion she didn't have a good recollection of who had done what. She ended up getting Ben mixed up with the guy who was sleeping. Because of this, the charges were thrown out on a technicality. But the judge made a special effort to go on the record to admonish Ben's behavior and label it as appalling and scolded them, saying they should quote be thoroughly ashamed of themselves end quote. The alleged rape took place in Sandown, Isle of Wight. The trial was in Winchester and was reported in the Daily Echo, which is a Southampton newspaper, for reference. Many people have commented he's innocent because he was acquitted. Keep in mind that being acquitted is not the same as being innocent. The guilty don't always go to jail. Remember, O.J. Simpson was acquitted in his murder case too. And Jimmy Savile managed to successfully hide all his crimes from public view for his entire lifetime. Especially if the judge who's seen the rogues gallery of murderers and rapists feels compelled to make a special point to add to her report that she thinks what you did appalling and that you should be thoroughly ashamed. That doesn't sound to me like an endorsement of innocence. More like she is upset about a miscarriage of justice. Sometimes victims of traumatic events are incapacitated and cannot be good reliable witnesses since the events may have affected them in deep and profound ways. Some rape victims are also vulnerable and don't have the fortitude necessary to provide adequate evidence during the arduous and prolonged trial process to put their attackers away. In Ben's redressing of events on the Rouge V forum, he paints the entire episode as a quote false accusation. Straight from the get-go he lies though. He says the girl was in her mid-30s in his description to make her seem less vulnerable. The court records show she was 26 at the time and Ben would have been well aware of this fact, so he deliberately lied about that for some reason. He also neglects to include the judge's closing comments in his retelling, despite it being headline news. Ben even admits that when he was asked by the girl if she had refused his advances would he have raped her, he answered yes, and even admits that he told her he would have set her on fire as well. In his account he says it was a joke and that she was laughing. This is hard to believe, that a young woman alone with three strange men that she'd known for only a few hours would find a threat of rape and violent attempted murder by one of those men somehow amusing and humorous. Maybe Ben was wearing a SpongeBob mask on his face or something. Or else this is just Ben's doctored and warped account of the whole thing meant to make him sound innocent. Keep in mind we don't have her version of events, and that she felt strongly enough about this issue to press charges. Another really suspicious thing is he never pursued justice despite saying it was a false claim. This very year he has taken time out to make a supreme effort on his YouTube channel and Instagram accounts to hunt down Indian men who made false Facebook pages about him. Does that sound like the type of guy who just says, oh, let's let bygones be bygones about a girl who made supposedly false rape claims about him? The case made him lose his job and ended up forcing him and his friend to have to move away from their hometown. Do you think if he was innocent, he'd allow someone to blacken his name at work, get him cuffed in public and have DNA taken from his knob, and then just say, yo, whatever dude, no biggie bro? He calls her a lying bitch, a cunt, an actor, and says she made his life hell, but somehow doesn't want any retribution. Yet, when some poor Indians make a Facebook page about him, he takes to Twitter, Instagram and YouTube to mete out justice to them. This guy has some strange priorities. In his writing, Ben again displays the same sociopathic ability to accurately monitor and manipulate people's emotions in his account. The mark of a sociopath is they don't have the same emotions such as empathy that we do. But they are very adept at mimicking these human emotions for their own benefit. He says in court he was very aware of the jury watching him and made sure to play up to them by deliberately refraining from looking smug when his lawyer made a good point. Instead, he says he took care to always wear a false look of concern at all times. It's presumed this is a fake look of concern because if it was real, why would someone mention having to deliberately portray this emotion to outsiders? Lastly, his own mother is most likely a woman who knows him better than anyone else in the world. Her first words to him after hearing of the accusation were, "Did you do it?" She knows her own son better than us, and her first thought was that he was guilty. Did you do it? Think of how your own mother would react with you on the phone if she heard about a rape charge. I doubt many of our mothers would greet us with, "Did you do it?" as literally the first words spoken on hearing of a rape charge. More like, "What the hell happened? Is there some crazy mix-up, son?" Many people will say this happened a long time ago. Yes, but Ben has demonstrated a very stable character. He has maintained the same goal throughout the decades. He has shown he will risk everything and devote all his resources to get vag. Anyways, in the interests of fairness, I've included a link to Ben's version of events in the description below if you want his first-hand account of what happened, as well as a link to the story in the Daily Echo. Check it out, and tell me what you think. Is this guy innocent, or is he shaping his version of the story to deceive us? Do you believe he had no sexual interest at all despite going to a club and coming back with a female, and that it was all her idea? Or is he making up porcupines? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And thanks for the new subscribers like Marielle NVT and Cursed Life. We blew past 400 a couple of days ago. The comments as usual have been entertaining. Fran S, for example, says, "It's damn hard to swallow your red pills, but you definitely made me go through the rabbit hole. Cheers, mate." Dimmy's Vlogs asks, "How about some info on Tim K? He creeps me out. Besides that, I don't like him." Tim K wishes us luck, saying this account will be closed soon. And finally, Daddy Fatsack says, "Dare I say it, your investigations seem to be far superior to those of old Harold Balders. LOL.